Call it. Okay, I call this, December 17th meeting to order of the Park and Recreation Committee. Dave, everybody get, Danielle's minutes?
Yes.
Are there any, questions or any additions or deletions to those minutes? If hearing none, then, can I motion to accept?
Motion.
Second. Motion accepted, accept the minutes from 11/19/25. I'm gonna run through this pretty quickly tonight. Our right-hand person over here, the person who keeps us rolling, Danielle over there, is not feeling that one, so we will roll through this meeting tonight. I have another meeting following them. You want to start doing it, so everyone do that, and move so well now. So, and, thank you for coming tonight. Looks like you're the only member of the community who came. And that's okay. So I want to, I'm just gonna recognize you now, as to, if you have any comments you wanna make, or you just here to observe and listen to us?
I'm just here to observe and listen.
Okay,
Thank you for that.
yeah, thank you for coming and, hopefully, remember, people who are not members of this committee can still make input. Okay, you still have suggestions to make input. from the committee.
Within 2 minutes.
I'm sorry?
Within 2 minutes.
Yeah, you're pushing the committee, I'm not.
Everything needs a limit.
You go ahead and say what you want, Mayor.
No, disagree.
Okay, any special announcements from any of the members being? Just real quick, the holiday for Cars Hero program went well,
Still going.
still going.
The box is still at,
Tractor Supply.
it's still at the diner, it's still at Tractor Supply, and it's still at Starbucks.
Okay.
And, after we left the meeting we were in earlier, I think what I'm gonna do for next year is I'm gonna actually have the statistics pulled from the police, fire, ambulance, and police department to show what type of incidents happen and what the average age is of the person that is involved or affected by it. So that we reach a different genre of folks that would be more inclined to write, thank you for protecting me, thank you for, it's very hard to thank a fireman after it happens. It's very hard to thank a policeman after he saves your child who's been in an accident. So, I think I want to share that somehow on the boxes that are put out.
Welcome.
Oh, it smells so good in here. And that's Pam's dinner. I'm sorry. So I did open it up to the schools, and the school district gave back, 26 cards. So I am meeting with the school board next week after the new year. And we are going to have a conversation about, I am all about supporting you, but I stretch your back.
So I think that's where the breakdown is in communication, because I think, like, when I talked to the secretary at Spur Elementary.
I went to that Judy. We were supposed to send it to every.
Okay. I think it's because it's always like, well, we couldn't do it unless someone says that we can. And then I think that there's times where someone says that they can and they don't get that memo, and so it's like the whole of like, we don't know if we're allowed, so we don't do anything kind of thing.
So I also think I'm going to send it to Deb, and I'll probably send it to Tabby Mann, and then I'll send it to all the principals, and then I'll send it to the board of directors. Because communication is key. And I am fighting very, very hard.
Yeah.
And because, I don't know if you know this or not, but this is a tidbit about the school district, and then I'll control my mouth. I'm on a roll.
It's okay, safe space here.
Any school taxes that are collected from property taxes in Newcastle County for students within Smyrna School District, you know where they go? Out of Plymouth. Yeah. So I am fighting with, I am discussing with, the senators up there in Newcastle County president to justify to me through Matt Meyer's office why that's happening and what they're gonna do to fix it and when it'll be fixed. You need to have,
If they go to school then.
if they go to school here, they get an allotment of money to put a child into a vocational school.
And there
They
is,
need to use the
there's a
same.
breakdown per student, there has to be, so
There-
however many
Right.
students reside within those
That's
units,
right.
that needs to
It's
go
all
back to Smyrna.
based on the account, which is antiquated. They're trying to, actually, they're working on whole funding system.
But that's a huge deal with like the new development that's gonna be going in at the very end of,
That's exactly right.
and
If we're serving them.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we can't get money for a new school for up there, because we would love to put in a vocational school. We can't get money for Northern Newcastle or for Southern Newcastle County. Not me, but the school district, because there's no count.
That's not true. No.
It goes all the way up into Blackbird and Townsend.
Kudos to you for like, trying to help,
Well, some people would say I'm crossing a line, so I try to be very careful.
I like to say there is no problem, just an opportunity to find a solution.
You know, I'm putting it in their hands. I'm giving them the tools. I'm giving them the knowledge to fix something that they didn't know that was broken.
And sometimes that's all it is.
That's it.
They don't know you can fix that.
That's right. So,
Wherever it should follow where the students go, where the
Mhm.
students
and
are.
I will tell you, Kira Hoffner is fighting it hard for us. So I'm very.
Can we go back to the cards for just a
Yes.
second? I found that superintendents want to be informed, but they're not always the best way to get out to people. So, a lot of times what I would do is go to the superintendent or the superintendents and say, I'd like to contact your principals and your counselors, or I'd like to contact your principals and your directors of curriculum, or I'd like to da da da. And just get that going and then, you
It
know,
was my
take it
understanding.
out
It
yourself.
was going to the principals and the art teachers.
But the-
That's,
And
Yeah, but-
my daughter works for Sunnyside.
Yeah.
And the message did not get handed down.
yeah, and even if it went to the principals, it's the same thing. I mean, they're so overwhelmed, so we want to get to like the people who are going to. That are with the kids. So, I mean, sometimes I would even just bypass and say, we want to go here and then go to all of your teachers, you know, that are.
I am pretty much gonna put it in the hands of Jonathan Snow, who is going to tell me what he wants me to do with it from this point forward to ensure that it's successful. And he can figure that out and get back to me with the answer, much like I would want him to come to me about the town. And I'll get the answer and give it back to him.
I'm not sure which one we're talking
The cards that we did for the first
Cards.
responders, because the schools want to do it, but they don't have, they just don't know. And we started in October. So they really have enough time to fit it into an art program. And there was the lady that did, the art teacher that did the eagle wings on the pod. She was so engaged, that art club, they have art clubs that love this stuff.
Yeah.
So,
There's all kinds of
yeah,
clubs that
the
do
senior
it too.
communities, they've done a really great job, so
I just feel like if you went to that in this, like I'd like to go directly to.
yeah, I don't think she'd really care, but I
So,
don't wanna step on toes and
I think that's a,
feelings.
well, if you ask her, if we can go directly to them, that's one less step than going through.
and that's a vital, like, relationship for that, because that goes back to everything, like, when we talked about at the very beginning about like all the nonprofits with the scholarships and getting that out to the students of the schools and all of the, like, it all goes hand in hand together, so we definitely need to.
Jay Davis is a great resource. He is great,
Yeah.
and I used
Yeah.
him last year,
Yeah,
and I didn't get the okay to do that this year.
and I mean, he would have really wide reach too, so I'm even just saying, I don't know. Sometimes I just went to somebody like Jay Davis and copy.
So
Keep on keeping on, we'll get there.
that's it, so we're,
Okay.
hopefully it'll get better.
Yeah, I think,
I
yeah,
think we have about 300 this year.
Yeah,
okay.
plus my Sunday school.
That's right. I know.
Now, I'm sorry?
No.
Now okay. Friday night, how are you looking for Friday night?
So Friday night is going to be dependent on the weather closer to the time that the event will take place. If you look at the weather now, it is different than it was Monday night. Tonight it's going to be highly windy and it's going to be cold. Now it looks like it's going to be warmer and not as windy, but to have a DJ outside, to have Santa Claus outside, to have a screen outside, and to bring people together. Now, we all know in December it's supposed to be cold, but
It's supposed to be raining on my calendar card.
When did that, wait, I just looked at it earlier today and it was like 55.
Friday night, or
Oh,
Friday morning.
62.
Well, so Friday morning it's raining, supposedly, Friday night it
It was
was.
clear.
Oh.
DVD.
Hence the reason that we will look at the weather when the time comes,
Yeah.
because I can't have a DJ outside.
No.
I know.
So, And I don't want Santa Claus to sit out there and freeze because he's sitting in one spot.
Weather's gonna be warm, but it's just, you know, the wind and the rain.
The wind is the problem this one, so. But what I suggested on the council floor the other night was if we have to cancel this.
Oh, it does say 95% chance rain.
Does it?
Yeah.
I swear to God,
59
I got that rain coming down, I didn't get a chance to watch it.
It's done by Alan.
Yeah, I'm looking at
Sometimes
by,
monsters vary,
That's what I was gonna say, that
So-
all my friends say.
And what happened, and the reason that we wait is because we put money out for this,
Yeah.
and putting money out for it and then canceling it early and it being a nice day. We aren't being good stewards, so,
It says it's gonna drop in temperature.
but you, people are out
they're
there.
all, and they're outside.
I would love to have a snow machine, like, but.
There's gonna be people downtown around anyway, because they sold tickets for this
Yes.
event through the.
The scavenger hunt.
For the scavenger
Yes.
hunt, and that is from 5 to 8.
Right. Yeah.
So, and they're having like a dress up as Santa contest,
Yes.
and they're having all kinds of different things anyway, right there, so.
Okay.
Okay, let's go. 5, 4 to 8, 5 to 8.
I believe it's 5 to 8.
I need a
The
lot.
same, it's right,
So
coincides where we have,
lots of stuff going on down there.
you said dress up like Santa?
I think so, if you go, it's on the firehouse,
Everything, some holiday thing. right?
Yeah,
Everything with the
Yeah.
firehouse?
it's on their website, on their Facebook.
It's all around town. It's a scavenger hunt all
Oh,
around
okay.
town. And then, so what I suggested was if we aren't able to pull this off, that maybe in March we do a happy birthday USA for the 250th and do the same type of thing and just make it so that it's a warmer climate and that we have a lot of happiness and still have something out there for block party, maybe do a pull-up more like a block party and do line dancing
like
and all that, so.
We'll have a little barbecue.
Or Christmas in March.
Your new
Yeah.
restaurant will be open downtown.
Oh, okay.
for them.
Alright.
Yeah.
So then we're good.
So it might be a nice thing, different little booths.
Yep, so, yeah, so that's really for Friday night. Everything else is lined up. Everybody agreed to come back out on Friday night, which is really good. And I'll hit on this and I'll turn it over to Corinne for her 30-second synopsis of, Just Serve is going to make a donation and it may not be dropping off bulk
Okay,
food,
right.
but
So when we were away at the conference, National League of Cities Conference, and you saw Smyrna was acknowledged for our partnership with Just Serve, which is a national volunteer organization, which is actually housed right there in Salt Lake City. So Tabby had a conversation with one of the administrators, the founder of the organization. And he said, you know, he liked our idea and was going to donate 1,000 pounds of food. So I got in contact with our person here because we were getting close to that time and we wasn't hearing back. And so we were going back and forth and she was able to talk to one of the heads there and we learned that that could not happen. So what they would like to do is to give Smyrna a monetary donation and we will be able to give that donation towards the food efforts to the ministerium.
the Tractor Supply is donating a pallet of water. Because that was what they committed initially. And aesthetically, we were gonna use their trailer, have all the food collected on it, and then drive it around the corner and drop it off.
So
Now it'll be a little bit different, but we'll still be able to make the same impact within the community.
Yeah.
absolutely, and we could just send banner as well, because it's still and once, it's still a donation effort.
Absolutely.
But at the same time,
And we wanna be able to continue to use them,
yes,
and
and
teach people. to
prayerfully,
volunteer.
we will be able to have that by Friday. So both of those, I don't know what the donation is, but whatever. it is,
Anything's worth it.
That's right, that's right, that needs to work. And they get what they need.
Yeah.
So the farmhouse event starts at 5.
I saw it on.
Tidbits, yeah, that's what I was looking for, but then I didn't.
But our event starts at 6, right?
Mhm. 6 to 8.
They didn't send it to the SCK mailbox, they sent it to Tidbits, and
Okay.
Tidbits will be changing eventually,
Yeah.
And that-
Yeah.
so they really need to get in tune with the town calendar.
Scavenger hunt is 5 to 9.
Oh, 5 to 9.
It says, come dressed as your favorite holiday character, prizes for best Santa, most creative. And there's different businesses around town that have different things set up, so they go to that area, take a picture. I know we're doing it, but we're doing something outside. But it's to kind of get people all around town. 5 to 9.
Oh, that's perfect.
They're doing it in teams of 2 or more.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yes, it is
fun.
So then we will.
We're gonna be outside.
People are gonna be all.
So then we'll, the businesses can just navigate them right around the corner.
Serious. That's just amazing.
That is amazing.
Okay, don't know how the events,
The 21st, there's caroling in front of the first caroling church and the evening of the firehouse. And that is actually Christmas caroling, which is different than caroling on a square. Caroling on a square can be everything from Joy to the World, AKA Jeremiah was a Bullfrog, to, Silent Night. You know.
And
like
everything
mine.
in between.
The ministerium and Pastor Riley are running the caroling. And that Saturday, Belmont Hall from, I believe, 1 to 4 is doing their open house for the holidays. They decorate beautifully.
that's the 20th, yeah.
Yes. And
Museum will be open from 10 to 2.
museums open every Saturday, right? That's, we need to get people in there.
I think they had a good turnout last week. They had, Santa in the little house out there.
Yes, yep, they did. But they actually had 8 people, 8 kids.
That's it.
Yeah. Let's go down, let's see, scavenger hunt, okay. Kenton lunch with, and the 20th, Kenton's having lunch with Santa from 12 to 2 at 284 South Main Street, I don't know where that is.
Yeah.
Oh, it might be, caroling, and then the other activities that are out there are craft lab for adults, the Free Regional Library, and Winter Wonderland Storytime and Crafty Bank on 12 to 2 on the 20th. So the 20th has a couple different things going on, and then Christmas caroling in Smyrna, and unscripted Duck Creek Improv, which is after Christmas.
And we has the schedule been put out, for Santa Claus?
Oh,
Yeah.
Smyrna Santa Run, is that what?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, that's
It's
a.
on.
Yes.
Okay.
I can tell you, she's memorized it, I think.
Mhm, I'm thinking,
It's an adorable hometown park.
Oh, it's great.
Yes.
My whole family goes outside. It's
Amazing.
like they have no common sense.
Love it.
They've done that since I was a kid.
In the freezing cold.
Oh, yeah, they've had.
Yes.
So I think that's all, yeah.
Okay, Lisa, what do we have on the youth commission?
So I sent the guidelines after our last meeting to everyone. I don't know if I had a chance to look at those. Have they had any? I did make an update because of the students having to live in the house, Smyrna based on our conversation earlier in the meeting with that.
So I'm going to meet with Tori tomorrow morning,
Okay.
and because it is a subcommittee, I'd like to see if it can be 9977.
Like that.
But I know the challenge that we have is that anything for the town. It's tough to break out.
I understand elected officials and staff being. town residents.
Committees,
Yeah.
so let me give you an example. I had somebody on the finance committee who lived in Clayton and thought it was a liberty to then run for all the things that they had no right to run for.
Yeah.
And because they had been given the liberty of being the chairperson on another committee.
But they would be
thought it was their right.
limited, from council, this is an elected position, in my view, they would not be eligible, but if they're on a subcommittee,
There are legalities behind it that have to go through.
okay.
Well, yeah, maybe talk to them and see, because I just want to make sure that we're specific.
When we're talking
Definitely.
about youth, and when
Yeah.
we're talking about seniors, this is what I'm trying to push. Spring Meadows isn't, term limits,
Mhm.
but it is a senior community and we don't have many.
Yeah.
Although we do have a lot of seniors, Lillian Smith isn't in 19977 either, and neither is Amy Warren, and that's where we're directing a lot of our efforts to pull together as a unity group.
Mhm.
And through the 250, while we're doing the 250 with the SCK, the goal may need help, continue on like MFT did. We're bringing people together. For youth, we need to be looking at not only the school district, but we need to be looking at homeschooling, we need to be looking at, the youth groups and the things, and people come from, not all youth group members belong to church, don't live in the same community where they go to church. So the subcommittee being different than the committee is what I'm looking for clarification on.
So. I mean, the easiest way would be to say like. The town or attend the Smyrna School District.
What is
because-
comes to the homeschool children?
Well, but if you say live in town or
Right.
attend the Smyrna School District, then that means if you attend the Smyrna School District from wherever you
Is
come
Providence
from.
Creek, Providence Creek is a student school district.
No,
But they're,
No, it's not.
But they're
It's not
charged.
full. It's like the military academy,
Yeah.
it's considered. a-
so you could say, I think you could rightfully say, especially, but that still broadens it.
Just need to make sure that all the caveats are done when we do.
Just like when you do scholarships, it would be, you would specify.
And maybe
you know,
that's what we think,
President does
for
part.
off the youth scholarship form for something like the Rotary or something like that,
Mhm.
or the Rotary.
For the Rotary, so.
Because that's all inclusive of the community,
So,
but
cause I'm on that committee as well, so what we have done over the years, it would be, everyone in Smyrna that reside in
Yeah,
the town.
that was-
What we have done, then this new year is just gonna be, Smyrna High School. Where before the reach would be, Polytech, it would be, students that reside here, so even if the child went to Camp Callaway, they would still live in Smyrna, so.
Which is the same.
For important.
Yeah, because they still reside in Smyrna.
Well, I think for something like this, because we're trying to get input
Mhm.
from people who live here too. If we said the town of Smyrna or attend the school district, then you've got everybody who lives in town, you've got a wide reach. You've got students who live in town that may go to Providence Creek or
Or
they
Camp
may go,
Callaway.
they may go to Polytech.
Oh,
And
Carousel.
And they all bring in such a different
Yeah,
experience.
I would love to say that because then that would include
I-
like,
Because of what happened with the election last year, our attorney is very.
I mean, I know when I lived in Beecher Brook, that's a Dover address. And my son was class president for 4 years at Smyrna High School and all kinds of leadership,
And you can,
but it
that's,
was Smyrna School District.
you can live in anywhere, right?
Yeah.
And
Well, we
you
didn't
can
choice. Yeah. We didn't choice. We lived there, but like our address was.
Right, and well, Blackbird, and Townsend, 19734, they're the students, so.
So I would like to say, or if you wanna run that by, I think we should.
I'm gonna ask him, yes, we're gonna have that,
Yeah.
Uh,
We
I think-
appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have Tori call in, so I'm gonna get Tori's buy-in tomorrow, and then.
Probably look for the best fit.
Yeah.
And pray a little missing out.
Yeah.
On some of the students that's run hot. Or any other organization in town that maybe have, kids who don't live in town. But are part of the town landscape, so.
And we are asking them to do some things to apply, there's kind of a process, and we had talked about, and this was, we were in another meeting this afternoon, like, came into this one a little bit. But we were talking about the number of students, because I know we want like a broad representation of students, but we also, for this council, I think we need to keep it a working group size. And then branch out and say, okay, if we want to do this event, then we can bring in additional students. If we want to do this, we can bring in additional students from here, but we want to get the opportunity out to all the groups that we've talked about, right? We talked about scouts, we talked about, obviously, the schedule, we talked about.
And I have 158 groups and organizations on the distribution list.
So, I mean, we can send it out and then see what we get back in, and then we're gonna have to go through, we're gonna have to go through the application. I was gonna just develop a little rubric to go through. But I think the membership size, I know you had suggested.
And look,
5.
tonight, there are 3 people of the 5 here,
Yeah.
one more person missing, and
Yeah. I just worry because we want such broad representation. That I feel like 5 is really limiting, to, even to get like a diverse group together.
And even if we were to start with a bigger number and take it down, but I used to have 9 people on Parks and Rec. Danielle, how many successful meetings did we have with those 9 people? 3 last year? Everybody's busy.
Well, and also though, because
Some
this
good
is
meetings
more
last
of an
year.
advisement, it's not necessarily a voting. Body,
Right,
maybe the quorum doesn't come into play as much.
Right.
bring a uniform.
Well, they don't get honors credits for it then. If they take the responsibility, then that's accountable, and I can't sign off on anything I'm not accountable. So that's something that plays into that. It's like
So-
for them getting volunteer hours.
Right, but if we keep track of their hours, I can just track when they participate, if they don't.
Right, and
We can
responsibility
see the
is
number
one
of
of
hours.
those, right? I mean, so, I mean, we can figure all that out,
Yeah.
but that's, it's.
I had 8 to 12 on here because I thought also we could see how many we get.
Right.
You know, and just kind of give us, and
And
if
then
we
we
have
have,
like
voices are great.
12 exceptional, like I think 12 is a lot. I've worked with a lot of student groups also. And 12 is a lot, like 5 or 6 is a lot easier even just to manage.
Yeah.
I think if we got 7 even, that would be great.
2 from like Bright Futures, 2 from like National Honor Society,
Yeah.
Junior Honor Society.
But we really
They're
want
out
it.
there.
So was that?
But I also want.
I have 13 of these. I just think we want it diverse.
Yes.
And speak as well.
We had talked very briefly for a minute about it, but like if you did, like, let's say you had somebody to represent like your sports committees, and then that person that's on your youth committee has a contact person that's for Pop Warner, like somebody that they can talk to, that can kind of, they can keep like as a part of it, but this person can be in charge, like, of speaking out, reaching out, and kind of be a new liaison for all of the sports, teams. So like you kind of have all of those people intertwined in the mix, but only one spokesperson, if you will, for each community.
And we had the adults show up to support this with the first meeting, like the Mike Zetley who was here, who is Pop Warner Little League, Little Less, the communicator that could be the adult helpers with this group of stellar responsible, let's not go stellar, let's go responsible kids that he's seen grow over the years. And maybe the recommendations come from people like that as well.
Well, we do have. So we have optional, however, recommendation, teacher coach, remember, maybe we don't make that optional, maybe.
I think that's a good idea.
Get that, yeah. So to do that, and I think we also have to see what we get, right? And then we can, like, when we're thinking about putting the committee together, I think we think about this. Represents what, and I am really set on it being a very diverse group, because I know that a lot of times, and especially if you ask adults who they would recommend, you get just
All
the
the
right
same.
sign all the time, and that's
Same
where
kids.
like, I know, Gabby and, it's Lindsay that live here. I know that Gabby is really interested. I think Gabby would be awesome. We don't need 12 Gabbies though. Like, Gabby's awesome, but we need some, and a lot of times young people will shine in an opportunity that we can give them to. And I think this also has to be done. So, how about if I make these updates and send it to you all again, and then just, if you all have any comments, because I think after the first of the year, I'd really like to get moving on it.
I agree.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to make sure we had input, so I'll send it again.
And as soon as it's ready to go, I'll send it out from our office,
Okay,
and that way it goes out, it's not what it needs on there, and you know, you guys be in the contact, of course, but we can if we get it out, get it on the tidbits, get it out going to the SCK group.
And of course, because it's volunteer, it, you know, we have that partnership with the serve. So we will be able to recognize them in that capacity.
I mean,
As an organization.
well, yeah, and I think, like you said, we give them NHS hours. We may be able to look and see how much they do. We might be able to talk to them to give them some work-based learning hours if they're at the high school, you know, I mean, there's some things we do. So the other things that I have on here that I was gonna put together was a simple application, sometimes evaluation formality, not just that, and then maybe a flyer also. So that it was like a one page thing that went out,
That's
you know,
great.
so that they can have the guidelines. So I'll work on that, but I really like if you all would just take another look at this, and do you need this to talk to Tori?
Do I have a copy of it? Maybe?
I sent
have an older one.
Email, but I need to update, actually, while we're sitting, if you don't mind, I'll keep listening, but
God
I'm
bless
gonna
you.
go.
Tell me you're gonna update that from your phone.
Yeah,
Oh, God bless you.
I'm gonna do it on the Google Drive, so have it done, and then you'll have.
Love that.
And then we'll, yeah, we will just work it. Okay.
We're gonna go, okay.
Okay, we'll move on to the, team commission now, the person's not here. I am going to, in fact, I already talked about that tonight. But updating us on what she's been doing over there as far as, senior trips and senior activities. I'd like for her to update all these, and I'll send that out to everyone. We're going to, I know she's planning stuff, I know she is, she's been planning stuff. So I'd like to, see what it is, and then, from there, we can move on next meeting to, how can we expand that, or how can we improve upon it, formalize the senior commission a little bit. Sunnyside Park and Service, I'm not gonna approach tonight, I don't think there is any news on that. Renaming the park, the Master Park plan, we're going to push on the next meeting. So, we'll move right on through that. For new business, and I'm gonna get very quickly here with the Ring Tan project.
So I'll give you one of this, we did this, so what this is, this is creating an awareness of what human trafficking is. And let me give you the simple example of young boy goes into Wawa with the man in the white shirt. Man in the white shirt tells kids stay in front of the candy until the man in the blue shirt comes. Man in the blue shirt comes. 3 days later, the man in the blue shirt brings the kid in the white shirt and the kid back and the man in the white shirt comes and get him. What we now might know is that once the girl that worked at the local Wawa, I was at a conference in San Antonio and they used Montana, Delaware as an example. They had police ones that I still have. Uncle so-and-so sold little boy who went with man in blue shirt for 3 days. Brought him back. Mom and dad thought that while they were working, people were babysitting. It is very common now that we have pillars in front of Wawa, Walmart, other places like that. It is very common. The most familiar person to sell a child is the mother. You pay rent. You, get money for drugs, get money for food for the rest of the family.
Drugs and health.
Yep, it is very common, it happens more than we know. The difference in prostitution and trafficking is there is a third party that sells it and has the benefits from it, or benefits in some way. You may not even know that it's happening, and one of the examples that we give when we go around and do this, this will be January 9th. I'm doing one at Legislative Hall, the week of the 20th. As well, like,
They're doing it, you know,
the night.
and then.
I would love it, and I'll do one at Lakeville. And then, yeah, the kids in school, and this is real. And this is another right here in our town example. Boyfriend's on the basketball team, tells girlfriend if she loves him, she'll go do sexual acts with his friends in the auditorium. They get money so they can go out for the weekend because of it. one day somebody gets caught. And they go, oh my gosh, this is happening in our school, in our auditorium, in our stairwell, and the sad thing is, sugar babies are real. Del State's got a huge issue with it, but they think that they're helping their parents out by helping to buy the products that they need to be successful, and they're being recognized, and they're getting credit, and UD has the same thing going on, you know, mom and dad don't send enough money to be doing it. And there are sugar babies if you look out there. So, this is an attempt to create, by pouring sands in the cracks of our streets and our sidewalks. The red sand is symbolic of not letting anybody fall through the cracks. And creating an awareness so that when somebody walks up to your business and says, what's that red sand out front? You go, this is what it is. We can't fix the problem, law enforcement has to do that. But I will tell you that there was a trafficking ring that was busted up about a week ago, and 3 girls were pulled out. In Delaware, within a 20-mile radius.
Rural here has become one of the highest threats in the area.
We are easy in and out.
Close to all the major highways.
It's scary.
It's the I-95 corridor, starting all the way down in Florida, running all the way
It's-
up.
Anywhere you see poverty, you see it. And it's very sad. And there has to be a way to protect our kids. There has to be a way to protect. The kids that keep making themselves. The kids that don't make good choices because. So this is January 9th. My 19-year-old niece is being cut, and there's nothing that can be done. And she lived here in Spring. So, it is a real thing, and, Kate is gonna be our contact. We'll give packets of sand out to families that wanna put it in front of their homes and take it to their churches, take it to their businesses, whatever it is. And you'll pick it up from her. I don't know if she's gonna have people come into town hall and get it. Probably would be my guess. She gives you a bag of sand. And
They
they
dropped it off last year.
that, and I just, but she's taking care of that end of it, because Kate is the victim's advocate for the town, and she sees these kids' hands. She, not just kids, adults. So,
And
yeah,
there's also rural life scenarios, go to onewatch.com. So you can see, the scenarios that occur. And at the same time, they update it, so you can see the scenarios that happen. And also you get a certificate for each one that you're watching as they update it and share that awareness.
we can do that. We can help make it better. We can't fix that. It would be nothing.
So let me ask you a question. I don't know what your findings like. I don't know what the thought process is, but you put the red sand down.
Mhm.
And unless you interface with people that come by and you speak, they have no idea what's going on.
Sure.
So I envision the possibility of making a little card that's laminated, stuck on a little stick that you stick in your front yard. So when people walk by, they read it and they go, oh,
And that could be if there is a card that goes with the packet that you get that explains it.
Mhm.
We have, because of the guidelines that we have for where you can do things like that, the town giving that out could cause issues of violation. So putting it in a restroom, because there are stickers, we have them in our bathrooms now, we have them in Starbucks, we have them in different places, so that if you go into the bathroom in a public place, you now see that sign that says. And you see the videos of the girls that do the signs behind their back. So that somebody knows to help them, right? That's why all this has come about. And that and abuse, but abuse is different and prostitution is different. Prostitution is a choice that you make by yourself.
perhaps I'm part of Angel, how I mean, Angel drinks when they're in the bar.
So. And I will tell you, I haven't heard that come up in any of the data training that I've taken. But trafficking is a very targeted. There are certain guidelines and rules. Delaware does not have a home for kids that are targeted, or for people that are trafficked, whether they be male or female. But we're trying to make a difference. We're trying to make a difference.
Okay, I had Rich standing in my credit. On my sidewalk, on my head, last year, and I had a couple of people who and I made them aware of it.
And if you do it early, and so, what if you do it early enough, and we get enough people, we have enough means of communication now, that if we get it out to enough people, we do a video annually. So that we can send it out and people can see what it is, and the more engaged you are, and I think Bethel had red sand in front of their church for a year, like they may still have it.
And we did it to Boys and Girls.
We did
Club
Boys
as
and
well.
Girls Club,
We did it,
we handed it out. The Celtic Pub did it, and this year we're gonna do it, well, we do the big one out here, so if you're available on the 9th at 11 o'clock, we're gonna do it out here, we'll bring legislators in, the newspaper will be here. Business leader, town leaders, so that we can get more out there, and this year we're gonna have glitter and that's in.
So this is a big
I
project.
want you to get approval for that.
On that.
He said something that,
This is a big project.
It is.
Why don't we have a float on our 4th of July event? And show a bunch of children, like in bondage or whatever.
Because
Did
that
you hear what
crosses
you
the
just
line.
you know what you just said, a float showing children in bondage. That's a lot of information for people to process.
Maybe something that just has a sign that's like, they're not alone, or there's help, or
Exactly,
like,
like
with a
mental
phone
health,
number or
right.
something, like,
Mhm.
just like standing, like, just like showing like unity of like.
or information, like,
Yeah.
like,
Makes sense.
So the best thing for us to do according to DPAC, which is the Delaware Anti-Trafficking and Mission that I'm on, is communicate that it's literature that's handed out and it's word of mouth, so that you don't scare someone away.
and so that they know how.
There's a fine line between like letting them know that you can help, and then also like alerting whoever is. The assaulter that like there's someone here that's willing to help them, because then that escalates their danger level.
Okay,
Reunion Park?
yeah, well, that's something we're gonna move on to the next meeting. The written name of the park will be the one, not park.
It would be Sunnyside, but that absolutely has to be.
Yeah.
That has to be.
Under, so we did Rich Sam project under new business, I'm gonna put P and P on also to the next meeting, this is going to involve a little bit of discussion, so we don't have that time for that tonight. The other thing, I was wondering about, going back to Rich Sam project for a minute, would a few presentations to youth groups around town be helpful?
So we do go out and do presentations, so if you know of anybody that would like to have them, we will absolutely go out and do that.
What I'm wondering is, if we would happen to run across a couple of youth in these groups that are involved in some type of trafficking and no one knows about it, what kind of effect will that have?
So because all that data stays very secure and very high level, and we don't really know about that for a year after, because of the investigation that goes into it.
That was the active investigation, so
But
we don't.
to give somebody that resource is priceless. I will tell you that one of the most outstanding presentations I have ever seen, and I go around with Sarah quite a bit at this point. And Sarah is the executive director for DayPath for Delaware. Kate Law, when we went over to the Boys and Girls Club, we all, with me, Corinne, and Kate. Kate literally took her chair and pulled it up to this table of young ladies, and she says, "This is when your boyfriend asks you to give a blowjob to his friend, so you can get them."
Or share news.
Share music. She made it so real. She nailed it. That woman hit it. She made it so everybody in that room had a better understanding when they walked up. And kids are thick-headed. But it's not just kids, right? And if your parents are asking you to do this, if your aunts and uncles are asking you, there are resources. She was the most real person when it came to this that I have ever experienced. And God bless her, but she is the one that needs to pull that chair up with those kids and have that conversation.
I've known Kate for a while, and I used to work with her, yeah, she is that type of person.
She, her probation and parole background is
Very blunt,
outstanding.
very direct, yeah.
And that's how kids make it.
Yes. And because, you know, here I am. Nope, nope, nope. Let me tell you what it's been for. Sandon, we create awareness, trying to move this. And she was like, now I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's the choices that you make because somebody asks you to do it or because they need you to do it. And you know you should do it.
Okay, on that note, you got any other business, John?
I just put something out there, if anybody happens to go through Middletown, in the next few weeks downtown, the poles are decorated for different businesses, and I think that'd be cool if we looked at it, maybe next year. It's not just the businesses that are in town that do it, it's any business that is in town, obviously, but not like that has a brick and mortar, so if it's something that's slightly outside, they like adopt a pole and decorate it up, and it's really cute, but just food for thought for next year.
For $250, we are looking to do that through Smyrna Cape, like Kenton and Clayton, probably in Denver. So that we're gonna follow the same guidelines as Middletown pretty much, so that it's inclusive of everyone because it's all free. But it can be businesses or it can be independent families. And then the fundraiser for that would go to the 4th of July.
Yeah, that suggestion right there about either poles or windows being decorated was also given to me by the other view of us.
Jen is actually Jen is gonna start attending.
Okay, so,
She's gonna go on my downtown Main Street.
okay,
So
so,
they're paying to decorate a pole?
They make a donation, they decorate a pole, at the end, we have, judging, and there's, for us, what we discussed between me and Nick, the two mayors from the other towns. Each town would donate $100 in donations, and whether that would be a first place at 50 and then a 25, however that is for winners. You get the AHA, of course, and you get advertising for your business. And then that's a small donation that goes into the kitty. I would love for Parks and Rec to be able to have 501c3 attached to it so that we can have funding, but it won't work that way. So that funding is gonna have to either come through fundraisers or town donation.
I'm amazed at how weatherproof they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were down, we were there.
They look really cool.
They did my shit.
Mhm.
And they don't look like they've been bringing.
Yeah. No, even the
They
the
must know what
fuzzy
they're
stuff.
doing, yeah.
Yeah, they do a really good job. So,
That's a really good idea.
right, okay.
We used to do the windows at this, new restaurant all the time, you know, by the.
yes.
The store, we used to go down there and do them.
Mhm.
So we talked about doing the Main Street board right now.
Yeah.
That's what the thing.
It's them, they were in there.
The windows are hard because there are privacy issues with people looking in windows.
It takes a lot to do those windows.
It does, but, homeowners trying to decorate windows, but and I'll make this real quick, next year, and I'm working very hard to get this done. Next year, I would like to have downtown Christmas in Smyrna, which means we are putting small businesses into storefronts that aren't filled downtown. And we create a downtown Christmas feel, just like you were walking through Norman Rockwell's pictures.
This is when we filmed the
Similar.
Hallmark movie.
Similar, right, that's exactly
I
right.
haven't, listen, we've been talking about it at the jewelry store, like between, like, it would be the perfect.
It
scene,
absolutely
like,
is.
They come in.
I was
and,
told that I
like,
couldn't do it this
cute
year,
Coffee shop.
but next year we're gonna do it, and it's a pop-up.
Producer.
And from the stairs and pick
Well,
up their
well,
ring.
And really, if you get a 3-month lease, don't have to have, like, I would like to waive the business license for 3 months for them, because they should have one if they're in town, but if they're not, waive the business license for 3 months. Let them go in there. They're paying the landlord, whatever that agreement is that the landlord makes. And if we bypass $125 business license fee so that we can bring business downtown and make our businesses successful.
We might do that a few years ago, and they even had like certain landlords, like they did, like the first couple months, they got like half of the rent or something to like help them get in the.
So
Yeah, I
it,
know that was a whole different thing than what you're saying, but.
Yeah.
I like what you're saying,
like a pop-up shop.
I was
Yeah.
told, I was literally
No,
told that it
this
couldn't
is-
happen, and I have since then been told that maybe everybody wasn't communicated, but, to make that decision. So,
Okay, anything else, right, folks?
Everybody has a happy holiday.
yeah, wonderful holidays. I sent you guys a meeting notice earlier, I don't know if you got it, or the 7th of January. Their calendar is not through January yet, so
Okay.
I added it to our calendar and included Leanna on it and left a message as well. And the guy at the window said it was fine.
Mary Fee is right, and,
Thank you.
everyone have a great
Yeah.
holiday, great day.
We'll be seeing each other in a couple of days, so I'm not gonna say that.
I know, I'm, how can I get out my Friday? I'm like, we already had it.